Now it's time for a business spotlight. This is the Adelaide Project.
Hello and welcome to the Adelaide Project Business Spotlight, brought to you by podcastcity.com.au. If you're looking for a way to engage your audience with your amazing content, then you need to talk to them about producing, recording, editing, videoing, and of course distributing your very own podcast. Just go to podcastcity.com.au. I'm Ron Fiedler, and we are glad that you can join us for another episode of the Adelaide Project Business Spotlight, bringing you more inspiring people from Adelaide and South Australia. So let me ask you, how would you rate the photos you take? Do they look professional and clear and framed correctly? Or are they out of focus, overexposed, and just too busy? What do your photos say about your personal and business branding? Do your photos give you a look that is professional, can gain visibility, and give a positive impression? Or are they just random pictures that you take that don't contribute to your personal or business branding? Taking good quality pictures is an art form, and taking a quick selfie just won't cut it if you are trying to create a strong personal brand, establish credibility, and create opportunities for personal and professional growth. Professional photos can help you build a network, gain visibility, and create a positive impression with potential employees, clients, or customers. We all know the saying, a picture can say 1,000 words. So what are your pictures telling the world about you? Using the services of a professional, passionate photographer can give you the look that your business and personal brand needs. They can take the stress out of taking a good photo. They have all the professional equipment, they know how to frame and light a scene, and the best part is you can be in the picture. Today on the Adelaide Project Business Spotlight, it's my pleasure to introduce you to a professional photographer who is passionate about working with professionals and small business owners to create imagery that leans into their uniqueness. This showcases their passion and allows your personality to sparkle in a safe place. Our guest today wants to be a supporting member of your marketing team and help you to create strategies to give you the right images to attract your dream clients, grow your business, and create a scroll-stopping visual content. Heidi Wolff is a professional photographer in Adelaide and more than likely has photographed an event that you may have been a part of, as she works with some of the best brands in South Australia. And today, Heidi is going to take us on her journey on how she started her photography and how she can help you showcase your business and personal branding with photography. Heidi Wolff from Heidi Wolff Studio, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to be here.
It is great to have you. Look, I've had a look on your website and I've looked at your work and it speaks for yourself. Your photos look amazing. The colours just come to life and your focus on the subject really helps and creates that branding. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey into photography? Why is it such a passion for you?
Yeah, so my journey actually started back in uni days when I was actually studying law and realised that that wasn't my dream passion at all.
Really?
So, yes. So then I took a year off to really think about what do I love doing? What gets me excited every day? And being visual and creative was something that was really up there on my list that I needed to find a way to fulfil. So I thought, why not? Being 21, you've got no care in the world. You're like, why don't you give photography a go? And so that's where my journey took me for the last decade. So I went into photography wanting to be a photojournalist.
Oh, okay,
and
yes.
travel around the world taking photos of everything that's happening. But unfortunately at that time and still currently, the landscape of media definitely has changed quite a bit.
It has. Anyone that's got a camera and they got it in their phone, they basically can just take snapshots and sell it all around or just be there at the right time.
Exactly. So I sort of had to readjust my dream.
Yes.
And I discovered working with business owners and professionals, and that was something that I latched into and really dug my teeth into. And at the beginning of my journey, I worked with some really passionate photographers in South Australia and learnt the tools of the trade and studied it and went headfirst into learning everything I possibly could. And I soon realised that I had to open a business. I had no choice. So at the young age of 23...
Wow, 23.
Which is statistically not something that many people do, their own business at 23. So I had to go out networking, be in a room full of suits and men and be very intimidated, but knowing that I knew what I could do, and I knew that I had a passion for it, and I had to just keep going and grow my business, and that's exactly what I did.
That's amazing. At 23, and you had that passion to do business. And, if we look back a little bit, it wasn't that easy simply just to become a photographer. There was a lot of people out there who were well known. Can you maybe tell the listeners how you got into these firms that we were talking about? We'll get into more of the ones you've done, but how did you get into them?
Yeah, persistence.
Is that all it is?
And the imposter syndrome was running rife, absolutely. Yeah. I did not feel like I was good enough. I did not feel like I could do this. But deep down in my core, I knew that all I did was keep persisting. Yeah. I had time on my side and kept going, and then eventually it led to such amazing things.
So you saw that dream that you wanted to be, a top photographer, which you are, and you just went for it.
Yeah, had no choice really. Had to. That was my option, and that's what I went for. I didn't want to say no. I wanted to. I was so driven that that's what I wanted to do, and I was going to succeed and go get it.
So when you first started, what were you doing? Were you doing brands in the sense of photographing products that were for sale? Was it people? Was it headshots?
Yeah, so I learned quite a variety of different types of commercial photography. So that's products, events, headshots, people in their workplace. So that was amazing opportunities that I had with some of my amazing mentors here in South Australia. And it just grew from there. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you have worked in different industries and organisations.
Yes.
You've created magazine quality images for billboards and flyers, websites, and so much more. When did you decide to start your own photography business? Now, you said you were 23. What was that the start, or did it take a longer journey to get to a point where you say, I've made this, it is my business, this is not a side hustle, this is my main work?
Yeah, it definitely took a little while. I did work at various camera stores and things like that to get, I guess, the finances.
To
support yourself. Yep. And then I built it up from there. It took a little while, but it really wasn't until I really really sat back and really thought about what do I really, really love about what I do.
Yeah.
And as much as I had great experience working with some of the bigger marketing agencies and ad campaigns and billboards and all those really amazing things, magazines, that it's amazing to see your photos all over Australia in these various formats. What I really, really loved was that personal connection you get with working with small business owners. And that's when I think my business really, really took off, when I was focusing on what really made me tick.
Is it because you're working so closely? Like in an agency, they give you an assignment. You're not working exactly with the client. You're probably getting a briefing and saying this is what we want. But when you're working with a small business owner, you're really getting to their mind of what they want, how they want to perceive their business. Is that the reason?
That's exactly right. And being able to hold a business owner's hand and help them through that process of really identifying who they are, what makes them special, what makes an accountant different from the next accountant.
Yeah.
What personality traits do they have that they're known for? What are these little elements that we can bring out in their photos to really make them unique and special to them and really cut through all the noise that's out there online and allow them to be confident in who they are and what they do. Yes. And seeing that change once they really identify the unique selling point that they have. Yeah. You see, especially with women, you see them soar after they've realised these things, and it warms me up so much.
That is really good to know that you're so passionate about the small business. And listeners, today we are recording this podcast and radio show on International Women's Day, and you brought up that you are so passionate about helping women succeed in their dreams, and you have a passion for helping female business owners. Yes. What is it about helping the women? Is it the fact that for so long women have sort of been put in the background, and now they're starting to show that, we can do it better than the men at times? We are a brand to be aware of. Is that the reason? Do you find it more that women are more passionate, have a more understanding about a product is not just simply there to make money, but it's more about the whole story of it?
Yeah, look, I think we're equal and equally have something equal to bring to the table. But what I'm passionate about helping women is, I'm a woman. I'm a woman in business too, and I knew how hard it was to struggle. I knew how it took me almost 8 years to put a photo of my own self on my own website. I'm a photographer. I tell people every day these things, and I couldn't even do it myself.
Is that because you were being judged?
Exactly. You've got everyone's got these underlying fears, and whatever they might be from wherever they stemmed from, we've all got them. We all can identify with them. And as business owners, and especially female, we succeed when we actually put ourselves out there, put our faces to our business, and especially this day in social media.
Yes.
We need to be seen. We need to allow our audience to connect with us authentically and who we are and what we have to show up. And the days of being what we call professional is shifting. It's no longer the suit and tie to rock up in a power suit.
Yeah.
It's about showcasing who you are and what you're actually about. And so for me, my biggest issue stemmed from when I was a child, and I grew up in a domestic violence situation. It took me till I actually started my business where I had to step up, that I had a voice.
Yes.
And I could show who I was.
Yeah.
Before that, I was very shy, introverted. You wouldn't even get boo from me. Yeah.
Do you find that when you take pictures of women business owners and they see that, it sort of empowers them to say, hey, this is amazing. I didn't know that I saw, they see themselves in a different light.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm a strong believer every single person is photogenic. They just haven't been shown how.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you've got a good person that knows your right side and how to frame it as you do, you can always get a great picture. But if you're someone that just clicks overexposed and not the right lighting, not the right situation, then of course it's going to be bad.
And that's why many of us think we're unphotogenic, which is so not true. No matter how old, age, shape, doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant. It's just about getting the angles, lighting and everything correct. Yeah. And your confidence would definitely soar.
So really when especially women business owners are having their photos taken for whether it be a website or they might have a corporate brochure they're doing, etc., and they're just taking any picture, it sort of puts their confidence down because they're not, as you said, framing it right or maybe not getting the right lighting and all. But when you come along and take these pictures and they're done correctly, they're done right, it just must be amazing to see the reaction from them to say, I just didn't think that I could ever come up this good.
Yes.
And we shouldn't be judging women on their looks, but it comes down to that it's more for them to know that, hey, what I've been thinking for years and years is just not true.
Exactly. And we all see each other in real life. We have conversations. We see what we look like, right?
Yes.
We're confident in our jobs and what we do, generally speaking. So showcasing your photos in the equivalent of what you feel like in your workplace is absolutely paramount. Then why wouldn't you go out there and go get the next big thing that you want to go get? Yeah. It
can change someone's perspective in life and also their business from holding back to, as you said, going for it.
Yeah, and it's not just about your business, it's about your personal life too. It's amazing how a nice outfit and some good photos can really change the way you view yourself because it's just that snowball effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keeps adding. You get more confident as you grow.
Yeah. Definitely.
It can be really empowering.
I think it's just amazing what you're doing there. And I've always said my business partner, who's my wife, without her, I would never be able to do what I do, but we do everything equally. But the best thing about it is that when I'm not rational, when I'm not thinking correctly, I know that she's got my back because she is. Believe it or not, she is. And if without that, I don't think we would ever succeed. And that's the partnership,
it's the balance,
I think. It's the balance that you were talking about before.
Yeah, and even with photos, it's when I'm working with someone, it's definitely a teamwork. It's not just me creating what I think. It's talking about the whole process, the strategy behind it, sitting down long before the shoot and figuring out what your messaging is, what colours do you want to use, who are you as an individual outside of your business as well, and putting that all together with the everyday things like your props, your clothing, the location. But, putting really solid strategy behind because a pretty picture is nothing without any strategy behind it. So it's definitely figuring out who that person is and starting from the very beginning before we jump straight into a shoot, which a lot of photographers just go straight into the shoot.
Yeah.
So it's about a lot of the work is done way before the even photo shoot even begins.
Well, that's a point of difference for you because most times when I've had corporate photos, it's just rock up at 9 o'clock in the morning and maybe bring a couple of different shirts.
And good to go.
I can see that caring passion in you that, you're not just simply there clicking as they walk in, but you're preparing for it. And I think preparation is something that's so underrated.
Yeah, and it's definitely even just connecting with that person. I'm getting to know who you are.
Yeah.
As an individual, I get to know what your mannerisms are, how you might like things. And it's that communication that we have that really makes photos pop.
Yeah. I think you're right there. Anyone can, as I was saying before, can take a selfie.
Yeah.
But if you planned it out and, it's the experience as well, I think, you're caring about the person, finding out about them. It's like an experience.
It is definitely. I call it an experience. Yep,
yeah,
definitely. Nailed it on the head.
That is so great, and it's good to know that there's someone like you out there who's photographing people, not just to put pictures out, but to give people that positive experience.
Thank you.
So, how do you feel behind the camera when you're taking the photos and you're seeing this all come to life? You're seeing something completely different in the lens compared to what you're seeing behind the camera. How does that make you feel?
Yes, but I love seeing the transformation of anyone from the beginning to the end of the shoot, especially if it's their first time, because they're usually so nervous. Like I was today when I walked in here. I was really nervous. But then once you get going, everything's okay.
Yes,
nothing bad's going to happen.
Exactly right.
And the process is usually very smooth. So it's just seeing that confidence shift from when someone started and they've taken that massive step to say, yes, I can do this. I have the confidence in myself and self-worth that I know I need these photos taken for my business to excel.
Yes.
And then they actually they're doing it. And their happiness afterwards is just, I love it. I love seeing people glow as they walk out that door.
Oh, that's
like,
fantastic.
wow, that was so much fun, Heidi. We laughed, we giggled, and it was fun. We still got some amazing professional results that I needed for my business.
Wow, that is good. You know, I get people say to me, oh, I don't like the sound of my voice when they come onto radio or podcast. And when they finish and they listen to that finished product, they think, wow, I didn't know I could sound that great. And it must be the same, of course, with photography.
It is. I always say to my clients, look, if that self-doubt is really plaguing you, look at your photos, pick some of your very favourite ones, and then stop, because that self-critical imposter syndrome kicks in really strong. Yeah. Give it a couple of days and come back with a fresh mind, and people just look at themselves so much differently. They're like, okay, cool, I was critical, I got myself over that, and now a few days later I'm refreshed.
Yep.
And like, okay, cool, I see it now. And that shift of mindset too is amazing, I
always found that, you know, when they used to do the old style photos, like if you go to Ballarat and you could dress up and all, people felt so confident because they were playing a character. They weren't themselves.
Yeah, in your business, even when you walk out the door every day, you're showing your personal brand and your branding as well. And it's playing that, you rock up to a networking event or you rock up for your photos, it's really getting that alter ego out, really.
Yep.
It's like you just amplify it a little bit more. And once people get into that groove, they're like, oh yeah, cool, this is good. This is good. I understand now,
Oh, that is so amazing. And once again, it comes down to, as you said, the confidence and empowering yourself so that you can put that branding out. And let's talk about that. You know, a lot of the things that you're doing is helping people to build either a personal or business brand. When you're doing your photography, are you doing more in the studio? Are you doing it outside? Is it a mixture?
Great question. Yeah, it really depends on the brand. So some will be in the studio.
Yeah.
I personally do a lot of my own personal photos in the studio and have a few outside, but depends on who you are and what you're about. So it's all about figuring out, if you're an office person, we might do more in the office, or you have a passion for being outside, the greenery, might go outside as well, or find a more modern venue or something that's more matches your style. It just really depends. It takes me all over Adelaide.
Wow, yeah. I notice a lot of real estate agents do a lot of stuff outside now compared to the backdrop they used to have.
Yes.
And I think it also showcases your local area. Like, for example, if you're working in say it's Burnside, or you might be working in the city or something, and having a good, nice backdrop from where you are shows you're local, shows that you're part of the community.
Yeah, and also shows what you're about and what it would look like to work with you.
So I never thought about it that way. That's
so I always
great.
ask my clients, what happens in your day? What does that look like? And how can we showcase and have a potential client visualize what it looks like to actually work with you?
Yeah.
So when they rock up, they're already familiar with you. They feel like they already know you because they know what it looks like and feels like. They've already imagined that in their head.
It sounds like working with you would be so relaxing in the sense that I don't have to think of everything. I don't have to be judged. And most importantly, I know that at the end you're going to give me the best shots, not the ones that you want to just give me.
Yeah.
You're going to give me those best shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's have a look at your services, Heidi. You have a lot of different services there, a lot of things you can do. What would you say is your most popular service that you do?
So my passion is working with people, and that's obviously the most popular services that I run. So I am very big on business and personal branding, so working with either sole traders or business owners who have maybe staff members come into their business and take photos of their headshots, their location, their people at work, those different elements that are part of a day in a life of working with that business.
Yes.
Also run, if you're just starting out in business or have a campaign coming up, I run quarterly headshot fun days.
Oh, please tell us about that. That sounds interesting.
So I call them fun days because having photos is fun.
Yes.
As much as everyone thinks it's really scary, they are lots of fun. So these are short 45-minute sessions to dip your toe into what branding photography would look like.
Yep.
I hire out usually various stunning Airbnbs throughout South Australia, mainly around Adelaide, that are neutral locations but yet highly styled, so we can do whatever type of photography that might suit you and your business.
Yes.
So they're a great little way, an introduction to what you do and who you are, and really breaks down those barriers from having a longer shoot.
Yeah.
And bring it back down to 45 minutes so it's nice and easy, not too stressful.
And do you find when people do these fun days that they think to themselves, hey, I want to get some more done. I want to move to a new level for my business.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it's a really good stepping stone, and then people, especially if they're new in business, you grow as your business grows. So the way you want to do things, your confidence grows. So people do keep coming back.
Yeah.
To increase their galleries and portfolios that they can use online and on social media. So it's a building block basically to keep
you going.
Keep going,
on what your journey is.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
What would you give advice to people would you be putting every photo you take up on your socials and on your website, or should you be selective of what goes up there?
I think you need to be selective.
Yep.
Like, I think you need to think about your brand, who you are, what messaging you're trying to get across. Is that photo relevant? Is that photo going to actually stop the scroll?
Yes.
Or are you just putting something up there because you haven't posted in 2 weeks?
So it is very important to think about, not just to put something up for the sake of the alpha ribbons on all the social media, but to actually think about what you're putting up.
I think it's very important to be deliberate with what you're doing.
And what about events? Do you do photography at events?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yep. Yes.
Well, what would some of the events that you would be involved with? I've seen on your website that you've done some stuff with the government, and also you've done some footy days.
Footy day? I haven't done a footy day in a little while, but no, that's all right. I do a lot of events for local councils.
Yep.
Various awards throughout the year. SA Ambulance would be a government organisation that I work for, City of Salisbury.
Yes.
All community-based, really. I love working with community-based organisations to really help them showcase what they do.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I suppose with a community, when you've got good pictures, it's a memory. We were talking to another lady who sorts photos out, and it's all about your memories. And, of course, if there's a fire, most people will grab the photo albums, the first thing that they will take.
Absolutely.
Because once a photo is gone, it's gone, and you'll never get that memory back.
That's true. Yep.
Oh, that's great. So if I was a business and I had a corporate day, let's say it was an awards day for my business, or I might be doing a golf day or something like that. Is that something that you would do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Love doing events.
That's good. I love going to events.
Yes.
And it's funny, every time you see the photographer, you see people trying to position themselves in the shot.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to miss out on not being being photographed.
And then if people avoid me, I come chase them down.
I suppose you always get the one that doesn't want
Exactly.
to.
I'm like, this is why you need to have a photo taken.
Look, you run workshops in photography. You also provide video education as well and training courses. Can you tell our listeners a bit more about that?
Yeah, so recently we've rebranded Heidi Wolff Studios because we do photography and video.
Yeah.
As we all know, video is becoming such a big part of our social media and a different way to connect with people. So that's been really exciting. But for about 8 or 9 years now, I've run various smartphone photography workshops.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, in the last couple of years, I've really focused on business owners.
Yeah.
Because obviously the rise of needing to take photos for yourself online is more and more apparent, and we can't all be like Qantas and have professional photographers follow us around all day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I've created these educational workshops to really help people just demystify how to use your phone settings and how to actually create good composition, how to use it on your socials, what are some strategies around it, how do we build out what some photos should look like and how they should feel.
Yeah, I think with the rise of mobile phones, the technology is just increasing all the time. And I think there's so much in that phone that we don't use. We just click. But, I've seen little snippets on where people give tips, and the way you position the phone or the way you push on the right setting to get the right lapse photography photography and stuff like that can really change it. And you can do all this with a smartphone.
You can, like anything. Any new skill takes a little bit of practice.
Yeah.
But once you get it, it's amazing what you can actually create. And creativity can be endless.
So would you say that now you would use a professional camera? What is really the difference in a for a normal person that's just doing shots around the office and maybe a couple of events? What's the difference between a professional camera that might cost thousands to your iPhone?
Yeah, the biggest thing is quality.
Okay.
So you always need professional photography or video. There's always going to be a space for that because we need to demonstrate how professionalism and clean and crisp photos always going to have a space in our marketing. But with social media, there's going to be gaps. I use my smartphone all the time to create videos or take photos of myself doing various things like today, for example.
Yes.
And you want to upload them and you want to share them with the world. So it's about having both professional content and also your ad hoc content as you go as well. So we need a bit of a balance of both.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think if you got especially showcasing your business with your website, you really want to get that professional photography.
Yes,
but as you said, if something quick around the office because let's say, for example, someone receives flowers for the day.
Celebrating a birthday.
Yeah, celebrating a birthday.
Anniversary,
maybe someone's got a promotion and they do a course with you, then you can show them how to use their smartphone to photo that correctly and put it on so it does look good.
Yes. So it's just increasing the professional look of it, making it not look so backyard.
That's right.
That's probably the best way to describe it. And then being able to up the level to make it look better. We're all going to know that's not a professional photo. We all know that, right? But it's just leveling that so it doesn't look ridiculous.
Yes.
Or bad lighting or cropping or, whatever.
Yep. What about Photoshop? Do you use a lot of Photoshop in your photography or is it more natural?
Yeah. No, I do. I think every photographer would use Photoshop, but for me, it's definitely about enhancing what's already there. It's not adding, lots of filters to make your skin look like you're 20.
Yeah.
It's just about finessing what's already there.
Smoothing it out and with light and I suppose colours.
Yeah. So just making everything look nice and poppy. You'll notice a lot of my work is quite poppy and bright and colourful. Yeah. That's my style, but I'm not adding much to that at all. I'm only moving the sliders only a little bit. I may move a pimple or a flake of skin or fluff on the jacket.
Yeah.
I'm not doing big changes. I'm not changing the face. I'm not changing your angles that,
Yes.
It's about reflecting who you are still.
Yeah.
But giving it a little bit of a pop.
And I think they pop quite well. They're beautiful photos that I've seen. I suppose it's all about, as you said, in the preparation, making sure that the shot that you're wanting is correct at the time rather than just simply taking it, say, I'll fix it back up in the studio.
Because fixing it up takes forever.
Yeah.
No one enjoys it. No one wants to do that.
No. I know with audio, trying to get something out, you can spend up to 15 minutes on one little piece. So
exactly right. Same thing with photos. If that's your smartphone or your professional camera, you want to learn the basic skills.
Yes.
And then the editing is just a nice little bonus to enhance what you've already done.
And what about the video editing?
Yep.
Is there a lot that you have to do there or is it mainly putting things in like graphics and maybe some slides or other photos?
Yeah, so I teach it more on the premises of using it for social media.
Yep.
So that could be learning how to do reels properly or learning all the elements of that or how to use all the lighting and composition principles and how to construct a video.
Yes.
To create something for your social media.
Oh, that's great. And listeners, that's something that we all need, especially in business now, because what I was told recently is about only 3% of people on LinkedIn are using videos.
They're very low.
And you can showcase your business by these reels. So you definitely want to get into these workshops and this photographic and also video education so that you can up your level. And that's what it's about. Heidi, if people want to contact you to join in on your headshot fun days, to book in a workshop or to engage your services, what's the best way they can contact you?
Absolutely. So either my website, Heidi Wolff, that's WOLFF, so like the animal but one more F, heidewolff.com.au, or you can find me on social media at Heidi Wolff Studio on all platforms, either that's LinkedIn, Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to see you there. And please say hello. Please mention that you heard me here on the radio too.
Definitely do it. Definitely do it, listen, especially the photos are going to just absolutely blow your mind because the colours just, as you said, pop off that screen. That's the first thing that I noticed on your website was how the colours were used. It was just absolutely fantastic. Look, We'll have all the information on our social media pages and, of course, in the show notes so that you can get in touch with Heidi if you want to engage her services. Heidi, I really can see the benefits that our listeners can get out of using your services, and I really appreciate you coming into the Adelaide Project Business Spotlight and letting all of our listeners know about your amazing services.
Thank you so much for having me.
Today on the Adelaide Project Business Spotlight podcast and radio show, we are speaking with Heidi Wolff from Heidi Wolff Studios, a passionate photographer who wants to help small businesses share their business with the world through photography. This podcast is brought to you by Podcast City. If you'd like to know more about starting your own podcast, from planning your podcast to recording, editing, filming, and distributing your podcast to the world, just go to podcastcity.com.au. I'm Ron Fiedler for the Adelaide Project Business Spotlight. Until we meet again, bye for now.